Hey everyone, glad to be here as part of this session. I'll quickly walk you through some of the use cases that we have on insurance for AI. Also talk about how AI is beneficial for the business, and lastly on how Meta is enabling AI, not only from a marketing ecosystem point of view, but also from a point of view in how it's impacting digital and how it actually impacts your business as well. So I'll just quickly share my screen. Yeah, so I think the first thing before I talk about AI is that there are a couple of questions, right, that we all have. I believe everyone in the room has been rerouted by your GPS because of traffic or a misturn along the way, or has had text suggested while you type an email or a message, or basically try to increase the lighting in your picture before you share it with your family and friends. If so, you have actually used some kind of artificial intelligence at a key moment in your day, right? So that's how AI actually powers everyday moments in your day-to-day life, and you get to use it on different platforms. Um, I believe Kushbu has already introduced me. I'm the client solutions manager for financial services at Meta, and I have been with Meta for almost 4 years now. So yeah, I'll just move ahead with the session. Um, in terms of artificial intelligence, it's actually having a quiet moment of its own. We are certainly hearing about it everywhere in the last couple of years, including our apps, including the conversations that we have. And it's actually the conversations around artificial intelligence have actually increased by over 170% across our app Instagram as well, right? Now, in terms of how it can actually solve basic math problems, how it can help answer reading comprehension questions, and give us sometimes new creative ideas or creative ways of actually wording or doing things. And again, with just a few words on how it can turn a description of an idea into a vibrant and a colorful image, right? You just put in a text and it turns that text to an image which basically brings light to the kind of creatives that we see. How can you also how it actually gives power to produce videos as well as music with just a few taps on our mobile devices, right? With just text and just a few words of information can actually help create those videos or AI, basically create AI powered videos with various tools. And it's actually these things that are helping people to embrace the idea that every connection, whether it's traditional or any new age business, is an opportunity to build and expand relationships with others using AI as a base. Yeah, before I think we get ahead of ourselves and try to understand what actually AI does, just think of AI as a powerful tool that draws on large amounts of information and data, often to solve a more complex problem, right? Sometimes that are dependent on each other, right? So there could be multiple problems that AI is able to solve through it's actually a powerful tool which basically derives large amounts of information to get to the solution. uh, Again, while this has been a current hype cycle, but it's actually been there for a for a long while, right? So, for example, it's actually been there for over 70 years now, basically since the development of something called as the logic theorist, which was a program designed at a summer conference at Dartmouth back in, I guess, in the 1950s to mimic the problem solving skills of a human. Now, since then, AI has actually been able to process basic logic to being able to handle tasks that are much more advanced and increasing our performance and productivity today. Now, that is what we call the AI 2.0 era, which is the second phase of growth for AI that we are hearing or we are seeing the hype about. And even when you look at Meta, AI has been part or has been core to our company's development and advancements which we have made that are powering innovation. And also in terms of the research that we are taking up and new tools for creativity and connection. And we are also excited in our continued progress for AI, which I will cover in the subsequent slides as well. Now, what is uh, what is the importance of AI in the current world, right? Even AI has been making great strides. It has shifted from a more uh, incomprehensible subject of a chosen few people to a daily use assistant. We use it on a daily basis in our lives, like I presented in my first few slides as well. Now, even in terms of organizations, they invest enormous amounts of money in AI to revolutionize various aspects of their operations and gain actually competitive edge in the market, right? Right from reducing costs to actually improving optimization. It's being used and it's important for any business. The other part is actually it improves efficiency at an overall level for any organization, or even if you look at it from a personal day-to-day aspect. The third is innovation, right? So in terms when we use AI for our businesses, for even when we use it in our personal lives, it actually helps us drive innovation and actually drive more competitive advantage. And obviously, when we look at businesses, wherever businesses have actually used AI as a tool, they have actually enhanced customer experience, which ultimately leads to more profitability and also leads to more growth at an overall level. Now, where will AI have the maximum impact on insurance, right? Now, this is a report that was published by eMarketer. Now, in terms of industry adoption for AI, what we see is there are three key sub verticals or sub layers, right? One is property and casualty insurance, which is basically our auto insurance or vehicle and any other vehicle insurance, where we are going to see the largest impact of AI over the next 3 years, right? Particularly within the personal lines where risk and products are less complex, right? Wherever the risk is less complex, wherever the products are less complex, and wherever there is a day-to-day impact on the user, we will see that growth and the impact of AI coming in, right? So there is basically early majority in terms of the property and casualty, which is the auto and vehicle insurance segment, that is going to see maximum deployment and maximum growth in the next 3 years. The second most impacted would be health insurance. It is much lesser than what we see for the first type. Uh, Now, again, here what we need is more frequent client interactions, and also in terms of data availability that comes into the picture for this segment. Here, what we will see is that this will be the second most impacted in terms of how AI is deployed into this segment. But here, because we are seeing this, there's also going to be moderate growth in the next 3 years. Here, the reason being that it's going to be governed by strict regulations and also some privacy concerns, where AI will not be able to come in, right? So that is why we will see some moderate growth in this segment. The last segment is life insurance, which is not too far behind health insurance. This segment will trail closely behind in terms of health insurance, right? Main inhibitors of this growth will be infrequent client interactions. Now, for this segment, we see that the interactions that we have with our customers is much lower than in comparison to the first two. And also the second aspect would be the stricter regulations coming in, right? So in terms of the impact of insurance on sorry impact of insurance on multiple segments. The first we will see is the more on general insurance, which includes auto insurance, vehicle insurance, etc. Then would be health insurance, and then the third one would be on the life insurance, where we will see maximum impact of AI coming in or adoption of AI coming in. Yeah. So in terms of AI's use case for insurance, where can it play a key role, right? Now, again, when you see the graph on the left, right, the maximum impact or the high probability use cases come in terms of claims prevention or basically claim handling, right? And the lowest would be in terms of basically introducing AI into compliance or underwriting, right? So now what would be the most critical use cases that you build, right? The first would be the personalized marketing campaigns, right? AI can actually help insurance better segment customers by identifying more behavioral patterns that humans cannot spot, right? Then insurers can actually use that to target customers more efficiently. Now, for example, you can use ChatGPT, right, to to generate more marketing content for each segment. That is one example. And in terms of using AI to build those customer segments, that can also be enabled when you're running your marketing campaigns for specific audiences. The second is employee facing chatbots. This is more internal. AI powered chatbots can actually help human assistants become much more efficient by actually quickly searching for large databases for answers to frequently asked questions, for example, right? And information on the status of claims or policy coverage. Now, if, for example, internally we have certain people working on or are on customer facing roles and they want quicker identification or status of claims to be given to those customers, that can also be done through AI powered chatbots. Similarly, they can also help agents explain the difference in terms of the products that are product offerings that we have as an organization, right? Identify the most suitable product for each prospect that we have. Again, it is a combination with the first segment, which is personalized marketing campaigns, where we see that you can add people, the bots can actually be used to segment the customers and then actually help the agents to find the suitable product for each of these prospects. The other part is actually give more detailed information about what is and isn't covered in the policy. So all this can happen at a much faster speed when we use AI or introduce AI into this ecosystem. The third is around claims, right? The first part around claims is around claims prevention. The the first part is advances in AI actually can lead to better synthetic data. When you generate this data, the generators of this data can actually simulate various scenarios to predict risks. When an AI intervenes in this kind of a segment, it can help in better risk assessment and also predict the risk that we often miss out on. Then, with this, you're able to identify future claims and take steps to deter them, right? So, if there are risks involved, you can take steps to actually counter these kind of risks. The second part under claims would be claims automation, right? With AI introduced into this mechanism, a lot of I think it can help in gather more information and verify documents whenever the claim comes into the picture, right? Which speeds up processing and also improves your overall customer experience. The next part is around product development. uh, AI can actually offer insights into emerging trends that are happening across customer segment, right? Allowing insurers to create new products that are designed to meet the evolving needs of the market, right? Can also help, again, AI when introduced into this segment can also help in the development process by generating, completing, or even doing simple coding as well. The next segment is around fraud detection. The existing AI models for fraud detection often uh, they actually look upon limited data sets that have a very small percentage of fraudulent cases. When you look at synthetic data in that matter, can actually improve model training by producing a greater share of claims that do not fall in line with the expected behavior. Now, in terms of fraud detection, when we look at it, when there is AI involved, you get to understand that there's a lot of fraud happening in terms of, for example, when we look at claim data, right? So there's a lot of fraud happening that when AI is introduced into that segment, it is much easier for it to detect. The next part is around customer facing chatbots, and I think this is where a lot of growth can happen, which is under the medium to high segment as of now. But in the next few years, we will see a lot of these chatbots coming in. uh, Here as well, when AI is introduced, it could produce biased, and also can the only the negative side of this is it could produce more biased or more automative kind of responses, and that's why a lot of frequent testing and regular monitoring is actually needed to largely solve for this. Now again, the first use case again is more of a human interaction, which should be the first kind of a step that we should take, and it should be enabled by AI. So it should not completely depend on AI in terms of customer facing chatbots, which could lead to poor customer experience, but again, gradually build on the kind of service that we are doing with these chatbots. I think the two segments which are on the lower side of the horizon, is underwriting. Now, while synthetic data can actually better predict customer risk, they aren't appropriate for making pricing decisions, right? Which must be explained to a lot of internal stakeholders and regulator. So that is why this is a slow moving use case, which will take time for it to grow, and it will, for example, some of the use cases that I mentioned above, they will be done in the next few years, right? Over a 3 year horizon. But underwriting and compliance, with a lot of monitoring and with a lot of testing that is needed within this segment, will take a few more years than the other use cases that I mentioned. Sorry. Yeah. So what we have actually done here is, we've tried to give an example of how these use cases will uh, come into the picture, right? So, for example, the first use case that I mentioned, and which is around claim handling, and where AI will come into the picture, would be where, for example, there's a claim event, right? And there is a claim reported. So, where AI can be introduced is the second, third, and the fourth and the fifth step, which is from claim reporting to kind of from claim reporting and to going to claim revision, for that matter, right? AI use cases under claim reporting can actually be more real-time inputs that are given, real-time support that can come in, analysis of the claim that is reported. And also, when we look at claim review and investigation, there are two parts to it. One is the automated part, and then there's the manual part. So when we look at the automated part, uh, the documents and photo analysis can also be picked up by AI here. Verification of multiple policy conditions that are there, that can also be introduced in this step of the entire process. When we go to the next use case, when there is obviously, when we have identified that there is a go ahead for that claim that we have given, we can actually introduce that into the claim settled or claim rejected use case, right? For example, letter preparation can come in, the communication that we send into the client, giving step by step details where the claim has been whether the claim has been rejected or the claim has been settled, that can also be introduced here. The other part, in terms of settlement of the claim, payment processing can also be done. Again, when, for example, when we look at the overall benefits of this setup, is basically getting the optimization done, right? The claim process optimization done, reduction of a lot of mistakes that happen when we do it manually, right? Then again, the other aspect is looking at cost reduction. When we introduce AI into multiple steps where there's manual intervention required, we reduce a lot of costs that come in at an overall level. When we are updating the customers about each step of the journey, where their claim is, whether it's been rejected, whether it's been settled, where it is in the step of the process, we give an enhanced customer experience as well, right? So that is the use case that we have in terms of claim handling. Now, where does the use case for pricing come in, right? When we look at the premium composition that we are actually going to build, AI can come in when we determine the profit margin for within the premium composition, right? So more advanced machine learning techniques or more advanced techniques can be used to optimize this profit margin. The second aspect is around the risk premium. Uh, so, as I mentioned in my previous slide as well, risk assessment can be done much quicker and also more precisely. So, if there is, for example, if a uh, risk is actually involved within the premium composition, the AI, if introduced into this step, can actually can actually predict this risk much faster, right? The other is the customized premium um, based on the customer risk profile. There as well, the AI can actually be introduced, and also when we are actually building the premium for the customer, it can actually be more competitive price when we introduce AI into the system, because the model will be able to learn based on different techniques on what premium is competitive and what is not. Now, where does Meta stand with AI? Right. Uh, So, since the launch of Feed in 2006, AI has always been an integral part of our DNA. And that's actually a long time. If you look at it, it's almost 18 years. AI has always been an integral part of our DNA, going from ads, going from content that is actually shown to the customer. That has always been a core part of what we do. Uh, Even right now, and even in the last couple of years, what we have seen is we have been focused on our research and applying the potential of AI in variety of ways, right? The one team laser focused on this is actually aptly named as Fundamental Artificial Intelligence Research Team, which was actually launched by one of our own employees to actually help build more build actually build push more push the boundaries of research that we do on AI, right? So in terms of what we are, we have always, when we started off in 2006 in terms of how the feed looked like, and to now in terms of how we build creatives, how we show different content to the users, or what kind of videos that certain people are going to engage with, all has been a core part of our DNA. Yeah. When we also look at AI, we also recognize that we have a lot of work to work mindfully and proactively mitigate any unintended consequences of actually advancements in this sector. uh, to that for example, to that end, our responsible we know our responsible AI commitment has always been there, and specifically in the last few years, where we have actually told we have actually introduced a lot of these systems into our operations on a day-to-day basis. uh, so, in terms of what we have defined, our focus on responsible AI along several key principles, right? This is something that you see on your screen. From ensuring we build diverse data sets for more inclusive AI, to protecting privacy and addressing fairness, right? To generating more responsible associations that mitigate biases, and also testing new policy approaches to AI transparency and governance. The other one, I think, the last one in particular is more important. Uh, because when we are investing in AI, we are also developing AI responsibility with people safety in mind. We are working with a large network of governments, tech companies, and civil society through our open loop governance program to help develop forward looking policies around the advancement and responsible use of this new technology. Now, one quick example, and I think this is something which is very important as well. When we look at responsible AI in action, is and when we say that how we have advanced our research on our AI systems in line with these principles, is our work focused on a lot of these hateful memes or hateful content mitigation. For that specific initiative, we leveraged our AI system to understand how the meanings of words or images changed when combined together, right? So, for example, independently, when you say "love the way you smell today," and a picture of skunk can be relatively harmless, especially when thinking about that skunk. But when those words and their images are combined, it could be hurtful to someone. In this case, the AI technology is trained to analyze and identify whether such a combination can be problematic, and if so, we can train the AI to become a more effective tool for detecting hate speech or any misleading or misinformation. And when we look at a lot of businesses and a lot of insurance businesses come into this picture, when, for example, there is some content that is going on the platform which talks about maybe misleading practices within the insurance segment, or maybe misleading claims that a certain insurance policy can give me better coverage, etc. All of this can actually be taken down once we have that kind of information, right? And that is where we are actually advancing our AI systems as well. Uh, Now, I think the other example that we have is the hasher matcher actioner tool, which we announced in December 2022, which is actually designed to apply a digital fingerprint to a piece of harmful content in order to actually make it easier to spot replicas and pull them down easily. And that is not just on our platforms, but on others as well. The more the companies will use this tool and participate in the hash sharing database, the more effective this will become, and it will actually stop the spread of maybe violating content, or for example misleading claims for that matter. Now, in terms of the investments that we have already proven out, all these investments actually so far have already proven out their value and benefit to a lot of our marketers on our platform. Now, specifically, they have already helped to power a more stronger discovery engine. Now, when we talk about Meta, we talk about Meta and its family of apps being, for example, Facebook and Instagram, being a discovery platform. Now, what this helps us to do is it helps us to power a more stronger, when we introduce AI into the system, it helps us to power a more stronger discovery engine with more than 20% of the content in your Facebook and Instagram feeds are actually recommended by AI from people, groups, or accounts that you don't that you don't follow. The other part is the detection and removal of harmful content from our platform, which I spoke about in the previous slide. 82% of the hate speech was actually removed, was actually identified by our automated systems or the AI that we are actually investing on. Uh, the other is actually develop more dynamic and interactive 3D spaces with better experiences across a more augmented across true augmented and virtual reality. The third is, I think, the chatbot that I mentioned above, right? When we talk about chatbot, we talk about multiple tools like, for example, Messenger, WhatsApp. Now, automate relevant chat and chatbot powered messaging experiences on both Messenger and WhatsApp, right? So this again can be used for customer service for a lot of the insurance companies that are already there, right? And a lot of businesses within the insurance segment are already on WhatsApp, providing customer service, sending marketing messages, and thirdly, actually trying to solve for customer queries, right? So all of them are here, and that is how a more powerful chatbot experience can be given than by introducing AI. The last important part is actually making our ads more relevant and giving an automated kind of an experience for marketers, which actually allows advertisers to drive better results. Now, as an insurance company, you would want that the quality of the lead that you get from our campaigns, or for example, when you're driving leads from any of our chatbots or any of your marketing campaigns that you run on Meta, to be of a high quality, right? When we introduce AI into the system, that actually improves the kind of quality that you get, right? Which ultimately, whenever you're actually setting up a marketing campaign on Meta, it actually creates a much faster setup experience for you, and reducing your time and effort. Now, again, thanks to all of these efforts that we have done in AI, introducing it into our ad experience as well, we have seen a 20% increase in conversions with AI enabled experiences, right? Even for a lot of insurance players, when we have seen that automated marketing campaigns have actually delivered better results to the tune of 10 to 25% when they have run campaigns with us, which is actually from the automated setup experience that we have. Yeah. Uh, the other important aspect is, and it's not only limited to marketing, is that with all these advancements, we often hear a lot of conversation around AI actually replacing a human, or that it's all about increasing efficiency. But actually, the sentiment here is actually more misleading and incomplete. Um Efficiency by itself is not necessarily an advantage, right? More time does not mean more productivity, and it actually needs more kind of an efficient system which the AI can help in providing. Uh, the other important part is that it is not only about these things. The second part is what you do with the AI technology that is actually more beneficial to you as a business and also as a marketer. AI is actually moving further from just data and input to a more of a collaborative kind of a zone. So it is not only something that you just put into the system and it automatically does the work. It needs to be in hand with the kind of experiences that you have built currently. Yeah. And if we look at the kind of work that we have been and marketers work that we have built into the AI systems, marketers are already starting to lean into AI for their work, right? The projected growth that we see is in terms of how they use AI in their work is by almost 166%, right? The current is around 8.6%. In 3 years, this will actually reach close to 23%, right? That is percentage of use of AI or machine learning in optimizing and automating marketing efforts. Now, where will this be used, right? Uh, Now, how are marketers or how organizations using this in their work? From more automated data integration to bridging online and offline experiences to actually building more media buying strategies. AI is actually giving people across the entire ecosystem the power to do more and ultimately inspire them to perform their work more creatively and more efficiently. The first, I think, how marketers are using AI in their work is automating customer interactions. Now, I gave an example of a chatbot, right? Now, in terms of when, for example, a person buys a policy from you, right? Now, in terms of the service that we provide, what all details are in the policy that the customer has purchased, that can actually be automated and sent via, say, for example, WhatsApp, right? All of this can be automated in terms of the setup that we have. The second part is data integration. Like we have done for entire business, the entire marketing effort can also be automated with the right set of data integrations in place. The third is the most important part is 88%, I think, in terms of how marketers are using it, is personalizing the entire customer journey, right? Across the channels that they use. That is right from the agent ecosystem and coming in from an kind of a D2C model as well. And the last part I think I'll cover here is mostly on the process automation as well, right? The other is also resolve customer issues when it comes to, for example, solving their challenges. That can also be a larger bucket within the customer support as well. Now, actually, to create better results for businesses that use our tools, we have three focus areas of AI investments that work together. One is around infrastructure, with the kind of investments going in and to actually support more advanced models. The first part is infrastructure. The second is modeling, which actually helps in providing more accurate predictions to deliver the most relevant kind of communication to people. The third is experiences, uh, that is through products or through different tools to optimize for a higher value business outcome for multiple advertising partners. And again, spanning across all of this is our commitment to responsible AI and its guiding principles. Yeah, I think the last part is how can you as a business prepare for this rise? I spoke about how different uh, businesses are actually using AI into their marketing communication, and before that, I spoke about on how there are multiple use cases within the insurance segment as well. And I think to before you actually prepare for this rise or prepare for introducing AI into your businesses, there are three important questions that I think you should answer. Now, these are some of the results that we have got from a research which is done across multiple customers, which goals describe why you're adopting AI at your organization. So the first important aspect is to identify what are the goals that are there on why you're going to adopt AI into your organization, right? The first, obviously, the first response that comes in is improve customer experience and improve the kind of operational efficiency that we get. So it is important that we define our goal on why we want to get AI introduced into our organization. The second is uh, what will actually AI solve for, right? That was the use cases that we presented. That's another question that we should actually ask ourselves, which is around the first obviously response that we get is around claims processing. Then the second is fraud detection. I think these are two common kind of challenges that people want to solve. And the third important question that you should ask yourself before actually introducing it into your organization is, what are the outcomes that you're expecting to achieve from implementing AIs for within claims processing. We have seen that claims processing is the number one kind of a challenge that people want to address. What is the outcome within claims processing that we want to solve for? So I think that is one is actually reducing the time spent to process claims. The second is reducing the errors that go into processing these claims. So some of these questions within your organization, when you answer that, you will also get an understanding that this is what we want to solve for. Apart from that, I think there are important aspects like outline the key challenges, right? So what are the company's challenges that we are facing? Are they claim related? Are they more top line related, or they against getting a more competitive advantage across the entire ecosystem? The second is developing a business strategy for implementation. What do we specifically need to accomplish with the AI solution, and how we will measure its success? That's also important. While defining the goal and while defining the challenge that we want, we also want to identify what will be the measure of its success. The other aspect is, what are the key performance indicators that you need to monitor, and again, getting someone accountable for the entire program. The third is understanding the available technology, right? Uh, to actually implement a certain strategy which is related to these systems, it is important to understand that the what are the best and the most current AI related technologies that address my business challenges. So that is an important factor that we bring into the picture when we are deciding how to implement AI into the ecosystem. The fourth part, I think this is an important part, is starting with a strong data strategy. Before diving into building a solution, you should also consider the kind of data that you already have, right? Or for example, you need to collect more data, right? So that is something that we need to build in when we are actually when we are actually starting off with this strategy. When we are defining the data strategy, we should also determine the type, quantity, and quality of data that we already have. If you don't have a strong in-house data science or an AI expertise in-house, consider working with a lot of the third parties that are available in the market as well. The last part is build a crawl, walk, run approach. As we spoke about, right? There are certain segments within insurance as well that are going to outgrow others in the next 3 years. So, what is the right strategy? Now, when we say build a crawl, walk, run methodology, start small by addressing a specific channel or customer need when building an AI solution. Then actually move quickly and conduct more short-term tests on various solutions using a lot of proof of concept implementations that you have done across multiple pilots. From there, actually, you can expand to incorporate these additional use cases that align with the company priorities and align with the challenges or objectives that you have defined. So I think that brings me to the end of the presentation. Now it's time for you to see more what more AI can help you do in your work, to expand the kind of imagination and the possibilities of what your team can do, and to explore on how it can be used to deliver better performance for for your business as well. I'm actually looking forward to all the amazing ways it will help you make even better connections and better decisions, and also drive more growth for your business in this new era of AI powered performance and possibility. Thank you so much.